Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thank y'all so much for stopping by the live stream. Hope everybody had a great Christmas and having a good holiday so far. I know New Year's is coming up. Shout out to the NTZ crew. That's Michael Beat Your Life. That's Jacob Tanjay. Appreciate y'all, man. All my fourth quarter members. I saw Jeffrey Tatter on here. Yes, Jeffrey Tatter, Roger Walker, TJ. He says, I'm not clapping until we know he's showing up. Hey, what's up, Kamal? All my old heads. What's up, D-Sac? There's it. Elat. One love. Thank you, Elat. He says, let's hit the thumbs up, guys. Please, thank you. Clap it up, everybody. What's up, Michael Alexander? Any new viewers and subscribers, man? I'm pretty sure there's quite a few on here. They've given me almost 2,000 new subscribers in the past couple of weeks. Shout out to the fourth quarter for making that Christmas to Remember giveaway drawing successful, man. I appreciate y'all for that. Anybody catching this on replay? What's up, Cisco? Congratulations. The newest member to the retirement community. He's young too, man. Peso is 58.71. Y'all know we always have a title. Today's title is You're Complicit in Your Own Robbery in the Philippines. You know, not every man is scammed when he comes here, but the ones who are have a lot in common. And, you know, this is what we're going to talk about eventually. Of course, this is your live stream. We'll talk about anything you want to. Just put it over here. Get those wrenches ready. I saw when we talked about the script again, there was some haters in there, and not realizing that's all. The script is not new. It's not anything new. I've talked about it before, but Harry Shoulders wanted me to review it for the new man and woman. People don't understand. My channel is for the new man and woman for real, who's never been here before, who has an interest in coming here. But I always get my pushback from the old heads. That's okay. But yeah, the script is real. You meet online, y'all become boyfriend and girlfriend, you start sending money. Because most of us can't just come right over here. She meets you at the airport. You have the best two weeks of your life. You go back, you're bonded, and you start sending money till you see her again. What's up, Sam? I saw where you had gotten back, man. Happy New Year over there. Be careful. He said, what's the good word this Saturday, Big Cal? Hell, we alive, man. We kicking, we breathing, man. We 6 foot over above ground, man. That's always great news. I think that gets lost in a lot of the BS, man, and a lot of the complaining and stuff. He said, O'Shea made a video on you, Cal. Yeah, I appreciate the exposure, man. He was on one of the live streams and asked could he react to one of those videos. And, you know, he's a storyteller. So, you know, he's able to, you know, get my message across certainly to more people. But, yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, Merry Christmas. He said, thank you, Cal. I'm grateful that I made it. But, yeah, that script is real. As you can see in the comments, people know it. It's real. I want to thank Tony Oglesby. I got that notification, Tony, but I didn't see an email or anything where I could write you back and thank you. He said, very expensive not doing the research. Yeah, you know, right here it says the typical romance scam victim is often someone who's seeking emotional connection. and maybe experiencing loneliness or vulnerability. And he's targeted by scammers using manipulative tactics designed to exploit emotional needs and situations. See, you got to be aware of this stuff. This is why we talk about it all the time. But I'm going to talk about what a lot of these guys have in common, because honestly, you're more liable to be scammed in your home country than over here. That's just a fact right there. Certainly, if you're a senior citizen and you're living in America, even though, doing my research, I found out that the group that's targeted the most, that loses the most money, believe it or not, are the ages 18 to 24. But seniors do make up a big percentage of people who are scammed over in America. I mean, we've really done our seniors bad, man. They're afraid to answer the phone, afraid to answer the door. I just saw where a lady, well, actually two people. One lady lost $700,000 in investment scam. Then another American guy, he looked to be of Asian descent. He lost $1 million. This is just recently. But you're more likely, they said, 2 out of 3, about 68% of Americans have experienced some type of financial fraud in their lifetime, compared to 52% over here. They've been holding back those subscriptions for months. I don't know what they've been doing. I see a lot of these guys they're talking about the algorithm, and I think it's just their turn. I think the algorithm's going around picking on people, because my channel said dead water for months, but I just kept on, man. I just kept on. I don't know what's going on with. Hey, Serene Baked Custard. What's up, Jabraz? But we're just going to talk about who's more likely to be scammed over here. Oh, well, majority of people don't get scammed here. And odds are you're not going to get scammed. But if you are, you probably, it says right here, victims are middle age, older, often between 40 and 70 years old. Then it says seniors in particular may be vulnerable due to loneliness or isolation. Men over here in the Philippines. Although it says research indicates that women, especially older women, may be targeted more frequently. But you don't see a lot of older women coming here to the Philippines. Okay, what else? Even though we come from various economic backgrounds, it says, but those with disposable income or savings may be particularly targeted. Yeah, this is the reason they ask you certain questions when they're chatting with you. Broke people don't lose their life savings. They don't have life savings to lose. She's going to ask certain things. What's your line of work? What were you doing over there? Or what are you doing now? What's your job? And, we brag about this stuff. We freely give out this personal information. Information you have no business giving out, like your full name. Like because I'm going to get to one of them while we do this. You're giving these people that you don't even know. You don't know who they are on the other end of that computer. You're giving them your full name, the city you live in, all of that. What's up, Jeffrey? I saw you on there. What's up, Jason? That's my friend from California, man. He said, "You're gonna get mad at me if I tell you how much I spent." He spent a fortune though. He was robbed, but he was complicit in his own robbery. He didn't know any better. He's got a big heart, see? Because that's the thing. You start getting emotionally attached and you feel that you're obligated. I'm going to try to, lift these women out of that cycle of poverty, man. It's hard to do, guys. You can't do it by just pouring money into her. What'd you say? The first woman you were chatting with, these are women he never even met. I think he said he gave, $4,000 in the first few months. The second one was like $13,000. Remember, guys, between the age of 40 to 70, a man, which he is, and then it says, those with disposable income or savings, which he's a businessman. Pretty successful at that. That's a lot of money over here. I told you that the first one doesn't work. Don't let all these other vloggers try to piggyback off me. They know good and damn well they've been watching my videos. They never said, I said that years ago. So this is why I tell you, don't invest all that money up front. Don't front load these relationships, man. Take it slow because it's not going to work out, guys. Okay? Yeah, I know that's the problem, brother, Billy. But it says relationship status is usually this. They're usually single, divorced, or widowed, seeking companionship online. It actually has, man. I feel a whole lot better. I'm not getting that little feeling I was getting right up under my left chest. That's what was really scaring me. Because I never heard that before. I never felt that before. What's up, Paul? I didn't come to do Magetti this time for my extension because my extension was due on the 27th. So I went on to Bacala. The lady didn't even remember me. I'm glad. And I'm going to start going back to Bacala because you go to Bacala, even though I got a 2-hour, I went down there on the van. I'm going to talk about that a little bit in a minute. When you're riding this public transportation over here, man, you're putting your life in the hands of these people. Remember, I tell y'all about the cultural differences. Driving fast and reckless is part of the culture over here. This guy, man, if my arms would have been long enough, because I was sitting like the next row to the last, my arms would have been long enough to choke him, man. I would have. And come to find out he's driving with flip-flops on. He was driving just ignorant. You have to understand what I'm talking about. You have to have ridden through these mountains to know what I'm talking about, man. These are hairpin curves. They're, for the majority, overwhelming majority of the trip, there are no rails to stop you from going off the side. If you go off the side, it's your ass. And you always see that over here. Where these van drivers, I guess they're paid by the trip. Because I normally catch the bus. But when I get to the bus terminal, there's no bus. So I catch him. Man, I could have kicked his ass, man. I was so angry, man. Scared to death. I should have documented the trip. And you see what I'm talking about. This guy was ignorant, man. Really. Hey, Rashad, thanks for that super chat. He said, Unc, I mentioned the field in the barbershop today, and the brothers had a smile on their face like a motherfucker. Black men really, really love the fields, Unc. Yeah, I just black. Yeah, sooner, he said, speaking of transportation, Cal, when you buy in the van, sooner rather than later. Okay, because I'm no longer putting my life in their hands, man. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. This guy was ignorant, man. Even when he got to Bacala, he's driving crazy in the street. I know what it is. He's getting paid by the trip. But y'all got to be careful. But anyway, when you get to immigration there, it's just so simple. I know I wasn't there 20 minutes. Okay, they're going to ask you why you're there. And you say, hey, I love visiting the Philippines, the natural beauty. And then, of course, I put in my daughters here. Because they're going to ask you now, it's a longer form, like 8 by 11, where it used to be like a 2 by 2 form. No, like a 2 inches by 5 inches form that they used to. But now, with the changes, but you're going to see if you meet any of this stuff, man, you're the ones they're targeting. Of course, they're lonely. Okay, it says a lot of the victims may be going through some type of life transition. Recent loss, divorce, retirement, which can increase their vulnerability, man. And then, here's why we give out all of this information. A trusting nature. That many victims are inherently trusting. Well, you better stop doing that, man. Okay, because when you think about it, the information that we give now, that they can just use the simplest information to get you. We never even give it a second thought. He said, yeah, they go for that sympathy hook. Yeah, and that's the real nitty gritty. That's a fact. But eventually, hey, thank you. But eventually it starts getting a little serious, see? Because like I said, you have a strong desire to meet somebody, and she knows it. Because she's going to ask you, who is this? Oh, wait, it's either a delivery or that's the water bill, I guess. Hey! Is that the water bill or the electric bill? Right, electric bill. Who's out there? Somebody go out there already? I think it's the electric bill. We haven't gotten our water bill. We just got to go over there and pay it. Hey, I appreciate you too, man. No, we drive ourselves crazy. We're the problem. Okay, come on in. Is that what is that?
What? Electric.
Electric. How much is that?
7-8.
Oh, wow. It's going down. 7-8. That's not bad. No, I am going to buy one, man. But the timing, I got to save up, man. Remember, I don't finance nothing over here. I wouldn't finance it anyway. Remember, I got a bank account over here. But normally, because I talked to the people already, and they told me the requirements and everything like that. But I wouldn't want to finance anything over here. That's stressful. I like to pay cash. I'm going to do what my buddy Paul K did. If y'all see this man's van, this little van he got, that he paid about $5,000 or $6,000 for, even less than that with the dollar being so expensive. I mean, so strong. That's what I want. That's all I need. I could pay for that straight out cash. And it's nice what he's got. It's comfortable, it rides smooth. Because he paid extra into his, and it still didn't cost him $300,000. I'm not going to spend $1 million. A lot of my friends over here, they spent over $1 million for their cars. I'm not trying to go that route. Yeah, I'm going to get a car, take it easy. I promise you I am. But what I'm going to do, the next thing I'm going to do, my Christmas present to me is I'm going to spend the whole month of January in Bantayan Island. See, y'all need to put some respect on the Philippines, man. Y'all hear all this so crazy stuff, right? But you can go to a place like that where I'm just a stone throw from the beach. for $345 for the whole month. Fully furnished, everything. All I got to pay for is food, transportation, and food. Hey, Lance D. Daniel, thanks for that super chat. He said, straight cash, homie. Randy Moss. Yeah, I'm not. Don't do that, guys. You know, this is the only thing about renting over here that used to cause me stress. You know, just knowing that, you know, that obligation. And it's up to you, you know, it's your decision. But I'm going to tell you, if you're going to plan on being over here for a long term, you might as well spend 10 or 15,000 and build you a little bitty house, man. You can do it, man. $20,000 and be done with it. I'm in the green now. Every day I stay in here is the green. I've already got my money back from this house. I just don't want the stress, man. People knocking on your door, when you going to pay the rent and all of that. Well, the Philippine peso is not doing well. You got it kind of backwards. The tide is strong against the dollar, meaning the dollar is the exchange rate is low. The dollar here is high. This is near the record. The record is 59.14. It's 58.71. It's broken the record a couple of times. Yeah, I'm not going to take any debt. You know, like I said, if I can't pay for cash the same way I did this house, I'm not going to do it, guys. You know, but you can do it. But that I need. Well, honestly, you're right about this. And I don't know if it's weak. I don't know if we're fed up. But I think we just, I don't know. I don't know what to call it. But, you know, if somebody had cancer, you wouldn't ridicule them. I believe isolation and loneliness, like he said, is a disease. I believe people are sick for real, and you wouldn't make fun of somebody if they had cancer, so I'm not going to make fun of them. And like I said, most people don't get screwed around over here. The overwhelming majority of people come over here and have a pleasant experience. They never regret it. They come back time and time and time again. But the people who do have these characteristics in mind, they said, look, they often engage on dating sites, social media, online forums, indicating a willingness to meet new people online. Now, this is facts, man. Go on Facebook. They got so many of these dating groups now. Oh, I'm looking for a wife. Money's no problem. Okay? He said, put some respect on on Mr. Sunshine the whole month of January on vacation. I'm on vacation anyway. I'm just going to be living and vlogging there. But this is what you can do in the Philippines that you can't do a lot of other places. Because I've got to tell you, I'm stone's throw from a beautiful beach, man. It's just a smaller island. There's so many places like that over here. Yeah, my electric this month was 7,800, which is the lowest I've had in a while. Because I was just looking at my bill 2 months ago up here. It was 1,000. He says, you know, younger men anyway. I don't know. Okay, he says, men are just, wait. He said, men are just coming to their senses. Since women voted for equality, they cut the need for us. And so our need for them has also been cut. And we're okay just having fun, no marriage, no BS, peace. This is what I'm saying. I don't know if it's called being weak. We've had enough. But when I make those like I did the other day, people get the wrong question. Most of the men who come over here far more than not have a pleasant experience. That's why the numbers keep going up for Americans especially. They don't go down. But I just try to caution you and kind of give you a heads up about the games and stuff that playing over here. I'm not discouraged from coming over here. I'm actually saying over here because just like Jason said today, he said, Cal, one thing you said that made a lot of sense. Me and I'm never going to understand what you're talking about till they actually get over it. You're not going to see the need that the woman that you're talking to has until you get over here and you see where she comes from, where she lives, her financial situation. Okay? But majority of us, man, have a great experience over here. I make these videos, man, as a public service announcement. Most of you guys got good common sense. You got good book sense. Come on, dude. Shut the fuck up, man. You know how many damn people's on here? Now you being weak. I ain't skipping your comments. How the fuck I'm going to answer all your goddamn comments? When all these other people, I'm supposed to answer all your goddamn questions? Y'all the people like this. These are weak people right here. Stupid ass fool. Get y'all wrenches ready, man. Think I'm supposed to answer all your questions, man? Get over here with all that childish shit, man. Yeah, it's 1,000 comments over here. 166 people. So how many comments you think is over here? And they keep on going. But I'm supposed to stop at yours all the time. Stupid ass. No, man, they get on my nerves with this shit, man. Act like a bunch of little bitty ass children. Yeah, get rid of him, man. Yeah, I'll get rid of myself. I got time for you, man. Well, you know, he says, I stay the hell away from hot Filipinos with jobless relatives. I ain't funding the family tree. Well, everybody says that. You know, everybody says that. Everybody says that. It's a different story when you get over here, Greg. We all say that. But then another one is, you know, a lot of older guys, they're unaware of the scams that women play online and other people play online. They're unaware. They have no idea. They think that the woman's really serious. They don't understand that she's trying to scam you. There's no need for her to ask you all these personal questions so soon. This is one characteristic. One thing in common you're going to see when you start meeting these women. I don't care where you meet them online, Facebook, the dating site. They start asking real personal questions early on. Are you divorced? Whose fault was it? Do you pay child support? How many kids you got? Do you see your family often? They're trying to set you up. He said, laugh my ass off. I like that. Occasionally I have my phone at regular volume and then Cal flips a table. Yeah, man, because these guys are crazy, man, when they come on here like I'm skipping your comments. There's no way you can keep up, Cisco. I mean, and I don't want to be going line by line. Cisco, Cal skipped so many comments. That's why he's always calling in the chat. Then you go to the next one. You can't keep up, man. You do the best you can. That's why I always like to have a topic and notes here that I can, you know, feed off of. Yeah, well, that's what they want, Thomas. He said, learn to just say no. And that's easy in the beginning, Jacob. That's when you got to say it. Because once you got that emotional connection, it's going to be harder. The longer you're together, it's going to be harder to say no. But you can always say no to unreasonable request, but you can't say no to the electric bill, to the water bill, food and all of that. Yeah, yeah. See, this is, thank you right here. If you want to stand out, the only YouTube put the super chat. They did that for a reason. They know that these the host, which is me, can't keep up with all of these. So they say, okay, if you want your chat to stand out, put a super chat on it. Okay, if you want your comment to stand out. He said, it wasn't a super chat, you can't see everything. You know, every now and then you get somebody on here like that, entitled. I'm supposed to, every video, every comment he makes, I'm supposed to answer it. Forget everybody else. What's up, Blizzard Abroad? I told you, man, people keep asking me for that song. They want to buy it. They want to download it. He said, salute, brother Cal and the Sunshine family. I'm working but listening. He said Calvin would just be reading comments if he didn't skip them. That would be a pretty awkward live. That's what I'm saying. This is why I can't watch half the people. Because that's what they're doing. That's all they're doing is reading comments. Well, there's a lot of truth to this right here. He said they might be treating the Filipino like the high school beauty queen that they couldn't get back then. Determined to go all out this time, just a guess. Well, it has a lot to do with that. But some guys they know what's going on, but they don't care. It's like, I got me a dime piece. Okay, they're like, remember, we're all Bill Withers. They're saying, okay, if this is what you call using me, then use me up. Yeah, thank you. He said, right. Once they get over here, they always saying, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. Okay. And then the minute you get over here in that physical connection, you done. Yeah, you learned a long time ago, Rashad. He said, I don't understand why. Yeah, but I told Blizzard Abroad, Kamal, that's a bona fide hit. There's so many people have told me that out of their own mouth, which they don't have to tell me. I knew. They said, dude, that's a bona fide hit. You know, if they were playing that song on the radio, it would be on the charts, man, because it's bullshit out here now. There ain't no real good music out here, man. Yeah, Bill Withers. Most of them are Bill Withers. That's why, we're complicit on robbery. I was talking to Jason today. I was like, well, why do we even feel that we're obligated to send women money? That's something that's in our mind. That's something that they're turning something inside of us to make us do that. We're trying to impress them. We're trying to put in layaway. We're trying to put on reserve. We're doing something because there's no reason for you to be doing that. It doesn't make sense at all to me. Yeah, he said, oh, please. Hey, thank you. Are doing, he said, it's hard to say no right before or right after. Are doing intimacy. She's down there gobbling up everything, and then that said, by the way, my mother's in the hospital. She's waiting for you, and you sitting there like, keep going, don't stop. You agree to any damn thing. He said that pillow talk is a money pit, and most times us men open our big mouths offering money to help. Yeah, promises, that's the currency that they need over here. Yeah, because the guy wants the Blizzard Abroad to get in contact with him, that he's going to He's gonna pay Blizzard abroad. Hey, thanks Kenneth Brown for that super sticker. He said, yeah, true. Live derailed. Lipstick live derailed. Even Lapu Lapu Sharon went left, and she's built like your third hottest housekeeper on a Philippine vacation. Well, it's hard, that's why you have to put some respect on these vloggers that have been around for a while, that can create organic content on their own. They can maintain a following and all that kind of stuff. We make it look easy because many have tried and failed. And many are going to keep coming. Yeah, but she's just a typical woman over here. I don't know why y'all going so crazy. I'm going to tell you something. And I showed Merlin this morning, Rayshard. He said, man, they have a bunch of women that look like with D over there, sweet and docile, I'll be in trouble. Why do the Philippines break so many men who's macho here in the States? I don't know. That's why I'm telling Greg Masters on here. These tough guys, these alpha dogs come over here and get turned out. Because he's expecting, he said, well, if I'm pimping over in the States, you got to bring that same mentality over here. It don't work. You're not in the States. Okay. But her latest video is about scams or something, right? And we wasn't even listening to the video because nothing that we're talking about really is new, guys, okay? But anyway, I said, I want you to read these comments. And they're so cringy, and it shows you the problem. Okay? We're our own problem. Oh, you're so beautiful. D, and all that color looks on you and all that. And you really hit that nail on the head with this topic. And I'm like, dude, there's nothing new on that video. And some guys like, get them, D. You talk about things that no other vlogger will touch. I'm like, y'all sick, man. This is the reason why we're complicit in our own. We come over here. That's bullshit. That woman ain't talking about nothing that nobody's talking about. She's just an attractive Filipina, and that's what y'all like. I'm not knocking her. Whatever works for her. Hey, what's up, confident voice? How's that little baby, man? Appreciate. Thanks for that super chat. Yeah, he just had a little baby over here. Oh, he's headed to the gym. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. Look, guys, this stuff works. Okay, now some people take the peel. I got introduced to this beetroot powder through the peel, but I get this stuff, man. I get the powder now, and man, I drink it. I put, you can sprinkle this on your food. You can, mix it in your favorite beverage, which is what I do. I put it in orange juice, man, and it mixes, it blends so good, and man, it goes right into your system. I worked out, man. I had a great workout yesterday. What's going on? Happy holidays. Thank you, man. Yeah. And that's what it is, man. It's so many thirst comments on there. And you can go to any of them. Go to P and look in her comments, man. You'll be like, you guys. Now, I have to agree with the guy that I had to boot off here. That's when you see, like, man, men are weak, man. Like, what in the world is going on? I mean, they're too complimentary. I mean, they're just over the top. And even, okay, I'll tell you another one where the comments get real ridiculous. Go to Every Man Has a Story now. Remember his widow. Read her comments. And you really be like, man, you guys, man. He said, DJ said, yeah, pussy sells. Never forget who Max super chats. Yeah. Oh man, when I had the True Girls on here, they maxed it out. Some guy hit the super chat so many times he couldn't send anymore. I think he sent $500 because I told him, I said, uh, whatever super chats I get today, because it's the very first time uh, I let them on my live. I said I'm gonna split the live. I'm gonna split the super chat with them. Man, he hit that thing so much, man. He was sending 200 at a time. YouTube banned him. Now he was talking about the pimping mindset. He was talking about the pimping mindset. You ain't pimping over here. He said, money makes the world go around. Women in the U.S. you just met want you to pay for hair, nails before you even go out. Just know your limits. Think with the big head. Well, this is our biggest sex organ right here, Jabraz. But even women in America, no, they're not. They're not going to ask you. You're not going to be. Your restraint with them is going to be a little different. You're more skeptical of them than you are women here. We need a good dose, a healthy dose of skepticism over here, but we don't have it. We give them a pass. Okay, and this is the problem. But it's different. It's different. You're skeptical. Okay, and in your mind, you be like, I ain't gonna pay no. Over here, to get a, if I wanted to get a manicure, what's it gonna cost me? $1? About $1.10, $1.20. He said a broke clock is right twice a day. But they didn't stick it out. He said, I give True credit for sticking it out so long without gaining traction or additional subscribers. Yeah. They had a running start. But it's not so easy to do this. But here's what they did, Juice. I guess they got what they wanted. They all are basically married now. So, that in itself is a win. If they were able to meet a good man who can take care of them and everything through that channel, then they won. He said, Cal made a comment 3 years ago today, and you didn't respond. I'm still pissed off. He said, if not for my primetime gobbler, I would have unsubscribed. Yeah, man, I don't get it. Yeah, well, it's different then, yeah, for you. It is. It is. And we don't make it any better, guys. Okay? We make it a lot easier for them because we're so thirsty. We're so thirsty. But here's some common question, okay, that these women asked you. They're trying to probe into your life. Can you tell me more about yourself? They're going to say that. What's your full name and where do you live? That's crazy work right there. And we do it. We'll do it. Do you have any brothers or siblings? We say that to them. We give them a pass. They asked us the tough questions. Okay, tell me about your family. Do you see them often? How do you feel about long distance relationships? That's a good one there. Because as long as they get your agreement to that, they're going to milk your ass. He said, yeah, beetroot powder. Yeah, I'm going to buy some. It really works, guys. See, this is no preservatives, no artificial colors. This is real beetroot powder. And it works, man. It gives you that boost, that energy. Yeah, I mean, really, certainly when you working out, when you making love, it helps. He said fresh pressed beets juice, Cal. You should be able to get that over there with all the tropic vegetables and fruits. I'm not sure though. Some vegetables and fruit aren't grown here. Just like I can't get any mangoes in Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah, yeah. He said. He said. He said while she's doing the deed, you'd buy her plane if she wanted it. Yeah, she's making all them slopping sounds and stuff, swallowing sounds, gulping sounds, and then stops and says, by the way, my mother is in the hospital. She needs 10,000, and then you just you'll promise her the world to keep going. Yeah, and he was over here in the Philippines, so there's no and this guy right here, this Coach Greg Adams. I mean, you talking about a big following on his live streams now. You don't see people talking crazy to him on his live streams like, oh, you missed my chat and all that. He be having a lot of people. Like the last one I looked at, I want to say he had like 1,300 people on his live stream. Okay, but they know already, he's already set the standard. If you want me to recognize your live stream, it's got to be a super chat. See, he gets big respect like that, but there's nobody exempt. If he was in the Philippines and if he was seeing a woman, he's paying. We don't have no choice. They got everything else, guys, but they don't have any money. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you look like. There's Geechee Line. Yeah, they did. They did. They started on third base. But, I think Jim is continuing to. He's got another channel, something in Bohal. Okay. And see, until you come over here, you don't really understand, given the chance, guys, these young women that we deal with, I'm not talking about all Filipinas, because everybody doesn't do everything anywhere. I'm talking about those we deal with. Given the chance, they will leave here. They want to leave. There's nothing here for them. Not for them. So he says, these girls know how to sell what they are. They know how to sweet talk men and hold that carrot in front of us. The only way we can slow it down is to set standards and goals for ourselves. And you'll really understand the woman more as you come over here. And you keep coming over here. Because that's what I had to do. I just had to keep coming back like they tell you at the AA meetings. That's how I tell you over here in the Philippines. You got to keep coming back until you really appreciate the place for what it is. And you'll understand the women. You'll be like, well, hell, I can't walk a mile in her shoes. But we expect, imagine coming over here, okay, and trying to get something for nothing. Of all the places, this is not the place, guys. This is not the place to do it. He said, so they two girls are married foreigners. Well, either married or, shacking up. Where you going, honey? Okay. Um, yeah. See, I was shocked when I went to the meet and greet, and these are decent guys they with. See, they're not stupid. They're like, okay, because this is what another thing I was talking with Jason about today. Because he called me. No, I'm on it. Here. Take it. I said, if you're a Filipino and you watching this and you have a good man, you better hold on to him. Okay? You can go back in that cesspool of a dating pool if you want to, because somebody convinced them that good foreign men come a dime a dozen. That's bullshit. You don't know what you're going to get. Okay? You don't know what you're going to get. They think, oh, I just get back on the dating site and find somebody else. Okay, go ahead and try it. The smart women know better. Okay, I'm sorry. What's up, Raymond? Look at my ex-wife. She with a man, he's jealous, possessive, she can't work, verbally abusing her, the whole 9 yards. But you think, okay, you the prize, obviously, the star of the show. Go on back in there and see what you're going to get. She can't even speak her language in the house. Crazy is that? So, go ahead. But you warn the women when you with them. You try to tell them you don't know America like I know America. Those men would chew you up and spit you out over there, just like the women would chew us up and spit us out over here. They're on their home turf over there, and you're on their home turf here. Yeah, they're all going to question you, though. They're all going to question you. Oh, man, this is great. This is what Jason said today. He said, Cal, I figured it out. He said, tell your guys, just listen to the woman. He said because for about 45 minutes, he didn't say anything to his wife. He just let her go on and on and on. He found out so much stuff about her. And this is what he was saying, Jabraz. He said, most people aren't good listeners. If you listen, people tell you who they are. This is exactly what he said today. Yeah, Jim got married. She got a good guy. I mean, they got a brand new SUV, and, he probably spoils and everything. Same as the Saul. I know her husband. He had come to my meet and greets before, but I don't know if they was messing around at that time. And not that it was my business or I cared, but at that meet and greet in Lapu Lapu, it all came out. She was like, well, I'm with such and such. I'm like, okay, I mean, what do you want me to do? I don't knock you out for that. Yeah, y'all make a good couple. Because the guy's really good. Okay, here's what happened. I had a meet and greet in Lapu Lapu. I left a brand new, one of them real good gimbals, man. I left it there. Don't you know this guy brought it all the way to my hotel in Cebu? And I'm talking about this is a time when, this is like 5 o'clock, when traffic in Lapu Lapu and Cebu is like just worse than Manila. And this guy brought that to me, man. And I was like, man. And didn't want anything. He didn't want anything. Hey, Rashad, thanks for that super chat. He said, Uncle, let's keep it a buck. Philippines need to know that it's another one waiting to come behind and replace them. Men should know their leverage. Well, they know. Okay? You don't have to remind them. They already know for real. But I'm going to give you the same advice, Rashad. If you find a good woman over here, hold on to her. Because they're not all the same. You think they are. There's a lot of good women over here, and that's the only reason why we don't get our heads chopped off. It's not in them to chop our heads off because we stick our necks out there. But, but yeah, I'll tell you the same thing because they really have a rich character. I mean, a rich culture over here. Stick, man. You literally are getting just another face, really. Okay, the same cultural problems that you're going to run into with one, you're going to run into with the other. Yeah, she's got a new name on that. But this guy's cool. He's a brother. And, you can tell he loves her, man. He's a good guy, man, You tell he spoils her, probably, because she already had children and stuff like that. And, yeah, he run out because there's no telling what her inbox looked like if you would have read the comments on their channel. I mean, you think to yourself, who am I really talking to out here in this audience? You really don't have an idea for real, man. Some of us can't be helped, man. This is why I was making a video about they look at us all as sex pets and sex tourists because you act like a damn sex tourist. Okay? You act weird like that. I mean, you guys act like you're in high school, some of you, man. If you don't believe me, go to any Filipina vlog. I don't care who it is. She may have 5 subscribers, 50,000. It's the same comments in there, man. And you be like, okay, and they're hearing this stuff over and over and over. They got the big head. Okay? But at the end of the day, you still got the royal flush. She can't go anywhere. She can't go anywhere. We rushing to come over here and stumbling all over ourselves. The woman ain't going nowhere. And to anybody out there who's like, oh yeah, because my buddy Raymond, he's like, yeah, not everybody wants to, not every Filipino wants to come to America. Well, Raymond, everybody doesn't want to do everything anywhere. Okay, but if you think that these young women over here do not want to leave this country for a new life and all the opportunities that are out there, you don't know what you're talking about. If that wasn't true, then why are they leaving for these OFW jobs that pale in comparison to what you're going to offer them in your country? Okay? And I don't blame them. Okay? Yeah, but see, I did a video. He said Brother Cal was the only one who had wisdom to say the Passport Bro movement wasn't a label men won't. Because there was no meaning behind it. Guys, look at the video that I posted on my community page. I made this like 4 or 5 months ago when that J. Rello thing happened. I said, they're weaponizing the Passport Bro movement. They've done it now with this Floyd Wallace thing. It's weaponized now, man. People are running from Passport Bro. Okay, that guy Aaron First, man. This guy was sharp, man. But, he wasn't sharp enough to know. He had no idea that this Passport Bro, just that phrase, was going to come iconic. If he did, he'd be rich. He would have harnessed that thing. And, it's one thing I have to agree with Austin Hallman. He should have made it like some type of fraternity or something. But there was no meaning behind it. It was just a name. So guess what? The detractors, just like I said on that video, since the originators didn't give it the name any meaning, the detractors did. Now Passport Bro means negative, sex tourism, pedophiles. They let them commandeer that movement, man. Just like they did hip hop. I actually made 2 videos, but one of them, I'm telling y'all that they are going to weaponize that Passport Bro. Now, okay, I saw the guy in Brazil. What's the big vlog over there? What's his name? It's a big, he's like the main one, the little light-skinned brother with glasses. What's his name? He's renting his apartment out or something. But he says, and he gave the requirements, and he said, another requirement, you can't be a Passport Bro. Well, who is a Passport Bro? Of course, people are going to say, I'm not a Passport Bro. But how would you know? But yeah, they weaponized it, man. They weaponized that. And even the people who became famous from the passport bro name are saying they're not even passport bros anymore. That's crazy, man. But I got to give it to Aaron first, man. Go back and watch that. I think it was a live stream. This is when I kind of really he gained my respect because I really wasn't following them that much. But man, he's fighting for that passport bro movement thing, and he made some great points in that live stream he was making. That he made rather, you know. But I think it's too late. I think they've lost that fight. He said those simple questions aren't so simple as they are extracting. As they are extracting information. Yeah, where do you live shows how much you got. Right. What you do for a living, or what did you do for a living? Yeah. How long you been here? Do you know how it is here? Are you single? Yeah, to lock you down. You're right. They're extracting information from us. Yeah, the thirst was off the charts. And this is why a lot of them think that they're the star of the show. Excuse me. That along with the dating sites. See, the dating sites, they're the ones who have flipped the script in the woman's favor, making them out to be such great individuals, and a lot of times they are, but making them out to be the prize. Oh yeah, you want to come to the Philippines, and you want to meet a woman. They make great women, they make great wives and mothers, and blah blah this and blah blah that. They're not telling the whole story, but you bought into it. So now you coming over here, you're just happy that a woman is with you, when it should be the other way around, man. Once you come over here, you'll see what I'm talking about. When I went to visit my son's mother's province for the first time up there in Lanus, in Naga City, Cebu, about 45 minutes, an hour outside Cebu, and then another just 3 miles straight up into the mountains. It was then the thing started clicking to me. I did not understand that people lived like that. No running water, no electricity. They've got electricity. Yeah, they got electricity up there now, but no water. But she, to her credit, and a lot of them credit, like I said, they don't want you taking care of them. They just want the opportunity to take care of themselves. She was ambitious. She done built them a nice house up there in that mountain. Plus she had a house financed by herself over in America. But I had no idea, this is 2010, that people live like that. They had a little bitty, I look like a motorcycle. No, not even a motorcycle battery. There's a little bitty battery that they were using for their transistor radio, for their lights. And it was then I started putting two and two together about, the situation over here, man, because a lot of times you're going to meet at the airport and you probably never go to the province. You're going to be in the city, Cebu, Manila, Dumaguete, and a lot of them places ain't going to look too much different than where you come from. But when you start going to these provinces and squatter areas and stuff and really seeing where they come from, man, you be like, okay, I see what's going on now. He said, we can dine in, carry out, and even get delivery in the Philippines for a certain surcharge. Philippines can only get what's in their delivery range, with no guarantee when or if it will arrive. That's one thing that became permanent. We thought that was a consequence of the lockdowns. People became rich with this, grab food delivery. What's the other one? It's a bunch of them. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. No, I don't follow that case. You know, there's no sense. It's no relevance to me. Okay, I don't go to Brazil. Yeah, I don't follow. And like I said the other day, I wonder if the people who finance him to do those trips are going to finance his defense now. But no, I don't. I don't follow that stuff. Well, you guys, I'm not going to pass judgment, man. You don't really know people anyway. Um, I'm not going to pass judgment on anybody. A lot of the people who come around me, I don't know who they are. But I give them the benefit of the doubt. But some of you guys, y'all just hate us. Certainly when it comes to Austin Holloman, man, come on, get a man a break. He's just young. He's traveling all around the world. You guys got to hit the clock in the morning and all of that stuff. Y'all don't like that, man. Well, do what he does. Take the risk. Don't hate. That's all that is. You guys be hating on him, man. Man ain't done nothing. Now he's living his dream at 25 or whatever, however old he is. Traveling all around the world, got these nice, attractive women. Yeah, Skylar, that's who I'm talking about. This young man, but he said the stipulations, you can't be a passport bro. I'm like, well, what the fuck is a passport bro? He said he don't know who Floyd Wallace is. Well, Floyd Wallace became popular on a lot of these channels. Razor Rays, Razor Rays. Remember he came on my, when Razor Rays first started out. And I got to salute him. I got to shout him out because what he's done to his channel, how far his channel's come, is really unbelievable. It just shows you that if you just keep on, and you're talking about something, you got some content of interest, you can make it on YouTube. But anyway, he made him famous. Of course, Austin Holloman made him famous, really. And then he started doing his own thing, and people were, financing him to go overseas and crash out or whatever it was. But this is the only reason why it's a big deal, because we're familiar with Floyd. Because remember I told y'all, and I didn't know this till yesterday, I was watching a video. I said he done went over there and stepped into a sting, I mean. Yeah, Operation something. He didn't even know it. Y'all don't know it when you come over here. You think, I can do whatever I want to do. Man, you're smack dab in the middle of sex tourism countries. They've got some type of sting going on. You really got to be careful. Something's always going on over here. They're trying to entrap you. That's what happened to him. People's antennas are up. If you're trying to do something sneaky, they're going to catch you. That's exactly what happened to him. He walked into a sting that was going on. Some type of operation something. Because somebody broke it down. No, O'Shea Duke Jackson broke it down. Yeah, he left Brazil. But he's another young guy doing good and everything. But he said, you can't be a passport, bro. Yeah, I mean, they've just tried to, they weaponized it, man. They made it a bad thing now when it's not. just like Thomas said, you know, having a passport is not bad. And certainly traveling is an education. I would promote and encourage any man, woman who can afford it, man, to get a passport and travel and see something outside of their environment, man. See something different, man. You got to know your options. Because he was even talking about Charles Tyler. O'Shea Duke Jackson was on what he did a real good, expose or whatever on this situation. And, Charles Tyler, before he died, he was over in Brazil, and his channel, I believe, was called The Black Man's Option. And he said something, I only watched maybe one or two of his videos because he died of a heart attack, I believe. But anyway, one of them, he was on the beach, and he was like, hey, man, bring some of that money over here and quit riding around and around in the hood. It's basically what he was saying. Come out here and see what's out here. Because that's all these guys do. They get these nice cars. They just ride around the city. They don't go anywhere. Yeah, that's who I'm talking about, Skylar. He says, Kenyan women grew tired of Austin Holloman and Kid Greatness. I think they left the country. I'm not sure. I think they're still there. But not really. It's just that, when Jay Rello came over there, see, here's what I wrote down here today. A lot of these vloggers and content creators, they're not giving back to the places where they're vlogging and they're gaining their traction and they're earning their money and they're building their reputations. You got to make the place better for you having been there. These guys are just takers. They're not givers, man. Before I started my channel, when I was on Facebook at first, I started my channel by giving back. You got to make the Philippines a better place. I can't just be on here doing all this stuff, okay, and not give back. I can't do it, man. And this is one big problem. So when problems do arise, like they sometimes do, they're not giving the benefit of the doubt. When those guys came after me with those false charges, see, I had done so much good up to that point. The people here, the big important people, they had my back. They said that's not who he is. We know who he is. But they don't do it. So if you're a vlogger out there and you somewhere, sowing your oats, gaining your traction, building up a reputation in a country, give back, man. You guys are just takers, man. Take. It's a whole different genre than what I'm doing. I'm really trying to get guys to retire. I'm not jumping from one country to the other, screwing women, showing you how many women I can screw and all that stuff. I'm talking about putting roots down somewhere. Okay? And creating the life that you used to only dream of or a life that you desire. I'm talking about something totally different than what they're doing. Okay? Yeah, he said, Cal, you keep it a buck, speaking from your experience and sharing both the Philippine and the foreigner's perspective. I wish we did have a Filipino that would really share their perspective. A lot of times, the information, you can gain a lot of information just by talking and listening to your girlfriend. But you're right, 98% of my videos are about me and what I've been through. It just so happens that other people have went through it too. Some of it is so real that people think they take it personal. They think I'm talking about them. I'm talking about me, man. But the problem is, these guys aren't giving back. They're not doing any good. So when the Jay Rello thing came about, Austin Holloman them caught heat for it. And some of that stuff is so heinous, man, that you can't recover from it. Hey, what's up, Kaz? What's up, Swiss Gear? He said, can y'all look past the poverty factor? Are you good with no running water in the house? Wow. But we don't even try to get to know the situation over here. See, at some point, you're going to have to separate the Philippines from the Filipino, because when I go to Bantayan Island, I'm going to show you why a lot of men who don't come on YouTube at all, who don't want anything to do with YouTube, they don't want a channel, they don't want to be interviewed, they're living very well here. They're very, very happy. This isn't a shithole that people got y'all thinking it is. Some people have really found their heaven over here. It really is a paradise to them. But if you're young and, because I'll tell you in a minute, if you come here and you don't find what you're looking for, then create it. Okay? If you come over here and you don't see what you want, then go out and get it. Because you can do that here. It's so many advantages to living in a place like the Philippines. When you're coming from America, with the dollar being as strong as it is, but you don't look at it at that. Most of you guys want everything at your fingertips because you're used to that. I like the peace and quiet over here. Okay? That's one thing I like, that the people don't they don't bother you over here, man. You can really go someplace and relax. Okay? No, we're not blaming anybody for wanting a better life. Okay? But what we're saying is, don't get it on my back. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't get it on my back. That's all. But yeah, over here, man, you're more likely to experience trouble, scammed, robbed, and all that in your home country than you are over here. Because they give you the benefit of the doubt, certainly if you're in America. Yeah, they just hating on that man. Man ain't do nothing. I watch the same videos y'all watch. I'm like, why do they hate him? I mean, there's no big deal. Yeah, but what's a sex tourist then? We're all sex tourists in their eyes. Okay? You have to distinguish yourself from their perception. Because if you come all the way over here from America looking for a woman, even if you don't look for a woman, you can come over here to be taking scuba diving lessons, real scuba diving lessons, and they're going to look at you as a sex tourist, because this is a country with the reputation of being a sex tourism destination. Okay, so whose definition are you going by? It knows one, it takes one to know one. I did talk about Brother K. I asked where he was the other day. He said, Cal, have you talked to Brother K lately? I haven't talked to him. He usually, maybe he went home to the state. I don't know. He said he hasn't posted any new videos for about 2 weeks. Hope he's okay. I'm going to check on him today. I'll send him an email. Yeah, he said Austin embraced Floyd, knowing he was awkward. That's commendable. No one could predict Floyd would wind, allegedly doing what he was doing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like guys that I've embraced over here. Now, all of a sudden, they go and crash out. And what, you going to come back on me and say, okay, how you knew more about him than you're letting on to? No, I didn't, man. Yeah, this is true, and this is what I got away from. He said the end game in the West is a nice car. He said much better to travel, see the world, live elsewhere than be trapped at home. And this is what Charles Tyler was saying. I believe I watched him. I want to say 2015. I can't remember. It was somewhere around there. I had already. My wife was already from the Philippines. Was already in America. Okay, and he came across, and I was just watching him, and he said some things that I could relate to, because I love to travel. Ever since I joined the Navy, that really gave me my travel bug. Watching Andrew Zimmerman and Anthony Bourdain relit that urge to travel, and then watching videos like Charles Tyler and those guys, that just, put fuel to the fire. But I came over in 2009. Yeah, it's just they have a whole different, uh, you know, the channels are totally different. Their whole, um, I don't know what to say. Their whole mission is different. Like I said earlier, I'm not, and not that what they're doing is wrong, going from all these countries. Oh, I've been to so many countries, they'll say. That's good. But a lot of times when you watch people like, I'm not even talking about Austin Holloman, I'm talking about all these guys are jumping back and forth. They don't own anything. They don't own any houses. They don't own anything. They're just jumping around. And some people like that. They've got an audience. And if it works for you, then do it. But don't hate on them. I mean, these guys like me and guys who have gained some traction on these channels, man, we're some of the most hated people on the planet, man. It's because people are so miserable. They don't have the courage, they don't have the time, they don't have the money, whatever it is to do what we're doing. And they hate us for that, man. I mean, really. I was just watching a video by Ace Bachelor Cool. He was talking about past. He's walking the line between being a troll and I guess he's running out of content or something. But anyway, he was talking about the YouTube expat community over here, the e-beggars he was calling them, right? Well, he didn't have my name on there, but I just looked through the comments and I'd be damn some guy, well, you didn't have that Sunshine Shoulders guy on there because I'm not an e-beggar, fool. These guys, they're crazy, man. They're crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. These are grown-ass men. Yeah, it really is. It really is juice. But these guys, that's the biggest problem they've got. So when they get in trouble, nobody's going to come for them. Nobody's going to try to help them. You're going to be in a country all those years, places like Brazil, Colombia, where, Thailand, the Philippines, where, the poverty is just off the chain, and you ain't trying to help nobody? That's right. They came to my defense, man. One of the most powerful people in the Philippines. He said, yeah. Man, ain't all of that. He said, Calvin, I saw what they were trying to do to you. I was in Thailand. He sends Merle, he sends me a message, hey, come over to my office. I couldn't come, so I sent Merlin. He gave me the card. My get out of jail free card. Because he knows the good I do, man. Hey, thanks, TJ, for the super chat. He said, visit a fam. You'll see how she'll age and act. This is perfect, man, but we won't do it. We want her to meet us, in the Cebu and the Davao. We ain't going nowhere near that province. Oh man, Samal. I love that. And TJ would be who to talk to. TJ took us someplace when we were there. He said, any recommendations for Samal, TJ? That would be the reason I would move to Dumageddon. I mean, not Dumageddon, I'm sorry, Davao. Because I was talking to Geechee Land the other day. Geechee Land is there. He's back. I think he wants to collaborate. I'll interview him again to get an update on how he's been moving and everything. He said there are a lot of smaller 4 to 6 room resorts that you can buy out by the night, stay included. That's what I did when I took my girl and only her attractive cousins to Samal for an overnight. I remember y'all went there, man. Samal's really nice. Rashad said, Unc, it's a dick envy as well when it comes to the hate. Yeah. In the words of rapper French Montana, when the hate don't work, they start telling lies. I don't understand why grown men sit around like that. And see, he makes videos like that because there's a whole audience of haters out there. Not just me, of all YouTubers that they think gaining some traction and having a little bit of success. And, so when you make videos like that, that's why I can't respect him anymore. He knows he's feeding those people and bringing them together, and they just sit around and talk about these other vloggers who, by the way, aren't doing anything wrong. They'll never meet them. I'm like, dude, why would you keep making videos like that? Because they're afraid. They don't want the trolls coming after them. Yeah. Thank you. He said, I just don't understand that these 50-plus-year-old guys are such grumpy-ass haters. They call us losers. Who's the loser? I got to, give credit where credit's due. Even if a guy makes it over here and he doesn't have as pleasant of an experience as most of us do, I got to give him credit for getting off the couch. These armchair bros, that's what the guy coined it on there. Armchair bros. We're going to make that iconic. We don't need a fraternity for that. If you sitting there on your couch, always hating on these vloggers, you got all the answers, but you ain't left the block. You're an armchair bro. We don't have to have a fraternity. We know who they are. They don't have a passport. They don't have enough money to go anywhere. All they can do is sit back and critique us over here and tell us how big of a fools we are for coming all the way over here. I realize that everybody that comes over here doesn't come for a woman. And even if they do, okay, it's their business. Who wants to stay at home all the time? Yeah, I would certainly move to Davao just for Samal. TJ took us to that place, man. Yeah, like I said, TJ is the type of guy, if you meet him overseas, he's the type of guy that you really want to deal with, man. Okay. He said, return in June, Cal. I need to talk with you about checking in with you in St. Carlos. Man, come on, man. The guest house is ready. I told you the guy that came from Mexico, he's doing good over here. I think he's in Manila now, but he lives here in St. Carlos. Well, I was all set to interview him about life in Mexico. He was like, shit, I'm here now. Yeah, he said that computer warriors, Cal. Yeah, armchair bro. Somebody coined that phrase, man. It wasn't mine, but I love it because it's exactly what there are. Like a Monday morning quarterback. Yeah. Not realizing, man, it's fun failing over here. And like Napoleon Hill said, you can fail your way to success. If it was just women, man, I'd have been gone a long time ago, man. But I found something else over here. The weather, man, it's 80 to 90 degree weather every day. You know, like the guy said, Cal's going on vacation next month. I'm on vacation every day, man. But the fact that you can go just within, you know, a stone's throw of the beach, the 345 for the whole month, fully furnished, no utilities. That's what I love about the Philippines over here. It's so many places, man, that you can go that I haven't been to all of them. I'm not trying to build an atomic bomb over here. The infrastructure is good enough for me. Look, guys, it's just, I don't know, man. It's not like we're living in the 17th century over here. If you listen to some of these people, they'll have you thinking that's what's going on over here. It's not, man. I was in the military, though, and then remember, I'm from the streets, not the streets. I'm from the streets. The shit that they be complaining about, man, don't even bother me. I've long since gotten over that kind of stuff because I know to expect it. But the stuff, man, I'm like you dudes are soft if you let that bother you. I'm not trying to run for public office. I'm not trying to get into the entertainment industry. Certainly not trying to enter any beauty pageants. Y'all don't understand the privilege of being a foreigner over here in the Philippines with, you know, just a decent income coming in every month. You don't have to deal with all of that stuff. So I don't know why they complain about it. They complain about the poverty, the pollution, this and that, right? Why are you dealing with that? Okay? You got $2,500, $3,000 a month. Why are you dealing with that? We live in an alternative universe over here versus the locals. I just like to live around the locals because, you know, I want to know what's really going on, but I don't stick my hand all the way in the cookie jar, man. I don't do it. I like staying on the outside because I don't want to mess things up. I've messed enough up already by fooling with the women. You know, you're kind of messing with nature when you do that. When you come over here and you start fooling with the women and then it don't work out, or you don't, you know, you don't take her home and all of that. Now she's ruined. She's ruined. You can't do it, guys. Yeah. But that's nothing. Look at Michael Beach of Life where he lives now. In Bahal. He's living my dream. Okay, now Bantan Island is just as nice, but it's not as, you know, it doesn't have the tourism infrastructure that Panglao has. And Michael Beach of Life is within a walking distance of that. Okay, crazy, man. He's really living a life. He said, hate is hate. Yeah, he said, bro, he said, guys, have your money right before thinking about retiring or relocating overseas. Otherwise, it would be short-lived and miserable experience. Or just have a plan to slow vacation. If you can't afford to live here, but get out of that damn matrix, man, and take a break. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to retire to these places. But people who can appreciate the Philippines, they really like it over here. I got a young guy coming. This guy has got a great job. I mean, he's in his 40s, and he drives for UPS. He's making big money. Okay, he lives in like a, I believe he told me his house. I'm not going to I think he told me his house is either. Now this is in Kentucky to tell you how good this guy's living. He's living in a $300,000 to $400,000 house. If you're doing that in Kentucky, you're doing pretty damn good. And he said he can't wait to get back here. He been here one time. He stayed on. He did the 5-star experience though, because he can afford it. There's a lifestyle over here that most expats can't live. We can't afford it. But it's over here. The more money you got, the more infrastructure you got. You will see a different Philippines that most of us see. So you can't really just go by a few people's word, what they're saying. Like I said, if you get over here and you don't see what you want, then create it. They give you a ball of clay. Take that ball of clay and create the lifestyle that you desire over here. You can do that. I promise you can. But guys, don't do it. If you don't see what you want, then go out and get it. Y'all so used to having it at your fingertips, man. It is for me, man. And that's one thing that the Philippines got in bunches. Simplicity. And if this is what you want, man, over here, you'll be in heaven. Then they got this immigration system to die for. You imagine coming to a country, this is the slow vacation headquarters. You ain't got to worry about jumping through hoops and all that stuff in Thailand, Vietnam, and all that. Flying out of the country and all that stuff. You can come here for 3 years in a row. How long do you need? And so if you wanted to stay for 6 months in a row, that's no big deal at all. A year, 18 months, 24 months, 36 months, guys. Yeah, how much longer you need? Yeah, it's not nearly as bad over here as people make you think it is. He said, yeah. Now you ain't gonna make it anywhere if you one of these types. He said, I would say if you're the type of guy that spends 300 plus on strippers and booze at the strip club and you go to Burgos with that same 200 in pesos, you may never come back, right or not. Yeah, well, it's certainly less expensive over here, but they run the price of that up over here. Because regular guy was doing a live stream and he was asking the lady, well, how much is it? And I think the lady said 4,000. I looked at her like, 4,000? No, it wasn't him. It was Filipina Oprah. It was one of her old videos. I think it was she made it last year. And she's asking the woman, and I'm like, lady, are you crazy? Who's going to pay you 4,000 for you? Well, evidently they are. He said my $800,000 dollar house in California probably looks like a shack compared to their Kentucky home. Well, yeah, Kentucky's real estate market is nowhere near California's. If you pay $300,000 to $400,000 in Kentucky, you living damn good. Yeah, you living damn good. Yeah, this is a good idea. A lot of people do this. Akaz is doing this. He said, I'm 35. I'm an IT professional with 10 years of experience. I plan to work the corporate ladder for 10 more years tops and get a U.S.-based job overseas and work remote till retirement checks come. Yeah, Kaz really got it made, man. But he's one of those guys that lives a good life over here. He doesn't have a YouTube channel for real. He doesn't want to be interviewed. He wants none of that. He's just living a good life. There's probably 95% of the expats over here are like that. You see a very few expats online, but y'all want to take us as the majority. And our experiences, as the final say, it's not. There's guys here who are living so remarkably, you wouldn't believe it, man. I got a friend here, right here in St. Carlos City. He's living in a 6-bedroom, 6-bath house, sitting on 3 lots in San Carlos City. He don't have a YouTube channel. He don't want to be interviewed or none of that. Okay? He said, I enjoy the Philippines. Jensen is low-key and relaxing. Enough to do to keep you busy. You already know Jabras, man. These guys, I'm not trying to convince these guys. Everybody's touting these other places, and that's good. But I've been here, man, for 7 years in a row. I can tell you that it's not as bad as what people tell you it is. I'm not somebody that's only I'm going from country to country, 3 months here, 3 months there, and then I'm trying to tell you that, oh, yeah, this place is better than this place. I haven't even scratched the surface of seeing the Philippines, so I can't even give you a 100% analysis of this place. But I know I didn't make a mistake by coming here. I know that I'm probably alive today because I made that move in 2018. Yeah, Kaz really lives good, man. He's like 43, I think. He's got a good remote job. Lives up in, in Manila. I'm not Makati. He lives close to the mall, nice condo. He's got a tenderoni. He's 43. I think she's 23. He's just living a good life, man. Yeah, he got the blueprint. He's happy, man. You can't just go by what we're like the gatekeepers for real. A lot of us. But it's just too spread out here. It's just too many experiences, too many stories left to tell. He said, I was going to promote my YouTube channel, but I saw the grief you guys go through and decided I want nothing to do with it. Invisibility is peace. Yeah, now remember, only guys who catch hell are the guys who gain traction. Our heads are above water. Otherwise, now you got people, they're going back, bothering those little guys, but that's because, they don't have any content. But for the most part, the only time, somebody would come after you is if you made a name out here. So then you would be lucky. It really is a matter of, you've made it when the haters come for you. You hear that. You ain't done nothing until they start hating. That's true on YouTube. Because when I had 1,000 subscribers, nobody bothered me. When I got my first check from YouTube, nobody was bothering me. He said, what's up, Cal? I'll open up a gym pretty soon across the street from Ace Pension House. Oh, man, don't do that. What's up, Raymond? He said a write-up here in the USA last week said $140,000 per year is now the poverty line in America. He said $140,000 per year in the Philippines is very, very good living. Now, you would be super rich. Stock guy, that to be considered rich in the Philippines is $3,808 per month. If you got that coming in, you're rich. You're considered rich. The Philippine Statistic Authority says you're rich. What's that? 40,000? Man, 140,000, you would be super rich here. That's why you see a lot of guys. Man, okay, there's another guy that I watch every now and then. But the only point I'm making by bringing him up, I think it's called My 2 Cents. He's in Dumageddon. This guy got a swimming pool in his backyard. You know, and nobody's bothering him because he's not on the radar yet, for real. But he sits there in his backyard. It's his house, the swimming pool, and then him. You can see the swimming pool behind him. There's guys who are living like that over here, man, for a fraction. Just a fraction. It's so much that places like the Philippines, there's so many benefits to living in a place like this in 2025. That is too many to even talk about. You got to come over here, man. You got to be boots on the ground. I paid off all my bills coming over here. I still got my taxes, of course. But I paid off all my bills. There's no better feeling than that. I don't sweat my bills, okay? I got my electric bill today, $7,800. That's really, I got that. The only real bills I got are my utilities. I got my Wi-Fi, it's about 1,800 pesos a month. My water, which is back down to about 500 a month. And my electric, it runs anywhere from 7 to 10,000 a month. That's it. Of course, my food. I mean, imagine that. So, it's just, man, I'm telling you guys, man, it's just too expensive in America. I'd be in a senior citizen high rise on my income over there. I wouldn't do it. Hell, I'd spend half my money on my rent. I'm not going to one of those places, but you know what I'm saying. I'd be scraping by over there. Why put yourself through that? I mean, I lived for 55 years in America. I'm not missing anything. I mean, I got family and stuff over there. I can always get on a plane and go home. But I don't want to struggle like that in my fourth quarter, man. Let me live, my dreams, man, for this last quarter. Let me get out on the court and I'm tired of being the mascot, which I was for all them other years. Let me get out there on the court and play. He said the Philippines is amazing. And on the plus side, if you live in a sleepy province, you jet to one of the big cities or even fly to another Southeast Asian country. Man, you can go I flew on Thai Airways to Thailand, round trip. And my ticket wasn't even $300. What's up, Angelo? Congratulations, man. He said, what's up, Cal? It's the only guy I ever knew do tractor spending over here. He lived good when he was here. For those, where'd you live here? 16 months, 18 months? 3-bedroom, 3-bath house in a gated community in Davao. Just him and his girl. But that's the way he wanted to live. He could have got a smaller place. I forgot what he said. I think he was paying $35,000 a month for that place. Which is nothing, man. What is that? $600 probably? Oh, I thought you said you were going to open up a gym. Are you going to open up a gym? You're not going to run a business over here, are you? Yeah, that's why I said that. Don't open. Are you just talking about you just going to open it up, meaning you're going to be the first one there? Is that what you're saying? Man, you want the quickest way to go bankrupt probably in the Philippines would be to open up a gym. Yeah, he said 140,000. He said shit, dudes are making it on 14,000. Yeah, that you would be in the upper echelon of society here. But believe it or not, there's guys over here, I know them personally, who got that kind of money, man. And um, they really do live like that. But they don't have a YouTube channel. They don't want a camera all up in their face. When you see these interviews, we're really seeing the bottom of the barrel. You know, basically just a run-of-the-mill expat. You're not seeing the real guys over here. You're not seeing the ballers for real. And a lot of them like it like that because they don't want that added attention brought to them. You know, from locals and expats. But what more do you need to see? All you got to do is go on YouTube. There's a guy in Dumaguete. I don't know if he still lives there or not. He built a 220 million peso house. He's trying to sell it. I don't even know if he sold it or not. What more do you need? Okay, what more do you need to see other than that? To know that guys are over here living, they really living good, and then, you know, they got a nice, attractive young woman. See, that's just the icing on the cake. You do everything else first. The woman's gonna be here, guys. That's your least worry. But we're putting her here. That's what messes the whole thing up. Somebody sent me a video on Facebook the other day where the damn horse took off, and you know them little horse and buggies that you can rent in a lot of the downtowns in America. Well, the horse took off and crashed into the car. Hell, the driver went flying. And I'm like, this is what we're doing when we come over here and put the woman, make her the priority. All you got to do is come over here, create the life that you're trying to create, and then just stick the woman in the middle of that. But you're doing the opposite. You're getting the woman and building the life around her, man. Don't do it. Build it around you. No, I tried this before, Michael, and people got mad. There was a lady here that got mad at me. I only just mentioned them. I never showed where they live. I never did anything. And she said that I was going to get her and her husband robbed. I'm like, lady, they don't know. Who's going to rob you? Not nobody from my channel. And if somebody's going to rob you, it would be somebody who already knows you, who already knows what you got. But no, that's the point I'm trying to tell you. They don't want to be seen, Michael. Okay, you just got to come over here and you'll see them, you'll meet them. I mean, you got guys over here that will spend $2 and $3 million on a house like I would spend $1,000 on that Christmas giveaway. They got that kind of money, man. He said the players are living on $3,000 a month. Shh, you got that right. They ain't 140, man. 140,000. See, this is the whole disconnect. This is one of the first things that you really gonna realize when you come to the Philippines. Certainly the rent. Where do they got $200 rent in America anymore? I don't think it exists. When I was there, okay, they got these old recovery houses. I forgot what they call them, boarding houses. They call them something. But anyway, you're in a room with 3 other guys, so it's 4 of y'all. $85 a week you're paying. And you got to hear somebody snore. You got to smell somebody's feet. And all the smell their farts and use the same bathroom and all that. You come over here in San Carlos City, man, I could take you right over here in an upper middle class neighborhood. And you're a 1-bedroom fully furnished. Fully furnished. Spick and span clean. Cable and Wi-Fi. For 11,000 pesos. which is less than $200 a month. That's what you want. Yeah, people don't want you to. They'll be like, well, I'll let them guys say whatever they want to say on YouTube. We know how we're living over here. I mean, just the little stuff that I showed you when I was living in Siquijor, right on the beach, for 20,000 pesos a month. No deposit, month to month, everything included, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, right on the beach. What would that even be right now? Let me see. Okay, I'm going to show you what that would even be right now. 20 grand. 20,000 pesos a month. In the resort area of Siquijor. So I don't have to go to Boracay. I don't have to go to Panglao Bahal. I don't have to go to Palawan, all those places. I'm literally right in the middle of all that. This is why the Philippines is so high on my list. I don't know about anybody else. $338 was what that was costing me every single month. And the guy who owned the property, he lived on the property. So plus I got free water, free Wi-Fi. Okay. He said it was in 1925. Yeah, remember the guy, what's his name? Mike, that came from Canada over here. He's a CPA. As a matter of fact, he's got his own accounting business and he's earning over $200,000 a year. His condo in Cebu, he was paying 125,000 pesos a month for his condo in Cebu. And I'm like, it's his money. I mean, I can't tell people how to spend their money, but it's a whole other level, guys. We don't see. You don't see. You got to come over here. And then, okay, if you like Frank Ellis said, the players about you got 3,000 a month. You're gonna have a maid. You're gonna have a driver. You're gonna have all of that over here. You ain't got no job in America. You can pay somebody just to be on call. Just anytime you really want to go somewhere, you can give him $300 a month. He's gonna be your driver. He's gonna be there at your beck and call. Hey, I need to go to Dumaguete Wednesday. Okay, I'm sitting in the back. I'm kicked back. I got the helper. She's cooked, cleans, wash the clothes, does it all. You're gonna have all of that, and you're gonna have a nice place, and nobody's gonna bother you. But this is the part of the film. We don't talk enough about the real life that people live. We just talk about, we talk around it. You got to live here, man, to see what I'm talking about. You can get a massage. Where you going to get a massage for $5? A real massage. Okay, and if you pay $8, that's considered expensive. In Bacolod, they'll put you to sleep for a 1-hour Swedish massage. You can eat off the floor. The place is so clean. It's called a cocoon spa. This is the type of stuff that's over here. That's why I fell in love with the Philippines. When I first came in 2009, I was at I'm trying to think of the name of the hotel. They had a massage place downstairs. Remember, I never in my life had a massage till I came here. I couldn't afford it. I didn't pay no $60 for 1 hour to rub oil on my body. The damn massage was 250 pesos. I couldn't believe it. I was getting a massage every day till the people told me, well, sir, I don't think you're supposed to get a massage every day. Well, hell, I was feeling good. Yeah. $200 is very reasonable. But what I was doing was very reasonable. I'm on the beach, man. Michael Beach Life had a brand new 2-bedroom in a different part of Bahal. He was paying $7,000 a month. When our second place that we were renting here in St. Carlos City was a house, 2-bedroom house, 1 bath. We were paying $7,000, but the lady wouldn't do any work on it. Yeah, but you know, honestly, they know, the locals know though. This is what I was trying to explain to the lady. I said, the people who would rob you, they already know what you got. They already know where you live and all of that. Yeah, you got to do all that for $85 a week. Okay. But I'm telling you, over here for $200 a month, less than. Okay, and you get to look at the landlord is eye candy. She's a dentist. Okay, you get to look at her once a month. Who owns the apartment? This is crazy, right? Yeah, they don't know nothing, Thomas, because they're not here. They listen to all that crazy stuff, man. Some guys over here are living so good, man, and they're happy. That's the bottom line. They just be happy. But we stay stuck on the women. That's all we stay stuck on. You got to learn how to separate the Philippines from the women, man. Once you can do that, I don't know how long it's going to take you. Just like one day I woke up and started speaking in pesos instead of dollars, but it's going to happen. And then that's when you really can appreciate this place, man. It's not about the women. He said some people in the vial said my rent was way too much. Yeah, see. But you had a nice place. We stayed there for a couple of nights. Well, a lot of them are. You know, but we were in Manila, okay. This is the only time I've stayed in a place where, it was spick and span. I didn't see any roaches. But every condo I've stayed in, Airbnb in Cebu, there's roaches. But the one I stayed in Dumaguete, the only condo community in Dumaguete. Man, it was spick and span. There were no roaches. But I don't know how old that place is, because eventually they coming, man. The roaches are coming, but mostly all of them in Cebu, certainly in IT Park. Okay. He said manicure and pedicure for $10. No, it's less. The lady comes to our house, and I give her $300 because she's coming to the house, and that's for both. But you live in like a resort place. Argyle's like a resort, considered a resort area, T. Because that's where I had my first foot scrub, a real foot scrub. I don't know what that lady put on my feet. She put on some kind of gel on my feet, and man, my skin just came peeling off. She was pregnant. He said, I don't want any outsiders or helpers coming in and out of my home where I lay my head. Too risky. Well, after a while, you'll figure that one out. You know, like I said, it's a whole lot safer here than at home. I certainly wouldn't do it at home. But we're just talking about a lot of the fringe benefits, man, of living in a place like the Philippines that we never talk about, because we always stuck on the women and scamming, which you're less likely to get scammed here than you are in America. We don't talk about the other stuff. He said, maybe I'll be late on the rent. He said, how did I leave? Well, I've been coming back and forth to the Philippines for 9 years before I decided to move here. See, I keep telling guys, keep coming back. Don't make one decision. Don't let one trip deter you or encourage you to stay here. Keep coming back, and eventually, man, you're going to learn to appreciate the place. He says, yeah, I do have one where I explained it. It was just too stressful for me. It had gotten too stressful. I was an insurance agent for all those years. And my grown-ass kids, they were all girls, so they always got some boyfriend problems every week. And, I was just like, I want something different. I just felt the walls caving in on me, man. And I knew where I could go to get that peace and quiet. And I didn't have a whole lot of money, man. I came over here, I had about $17,000. I didn't even really have $17,000. I had about $4,000, and then I had a commission check coming for about $13,000. But then I knew that starting January, I came here December 5th, 2018. I knew January 1st, I was going to start getting that $1,900 every month for my renewals. I was like, I need a break, man. And it was just what the doctor ordered, man. The minute the plane landed in Cebu, I felt like a new person, man. And remember, I'm flying from the United States in December. It's cold. It's freezing. Because I flew out of Chicago. We came from Louisville to Chicago, which it was cold in Louisville. But imagine December in Chicago. And we land, man, in the tropics, man. It's no better feeling. You see the palm trees and the coconut trees swaying in the wind, the bright sun. You hear the sounds of the horns got a different sound over here. And just all the goings on over here, man. I was like, I'm home, man. I ain't been nowhere ever since. Yeah. Excuse me. He said my landlord came over and dropped off some chocolate. Excuse me. And a bottle of wine. I would have never gotten that in the States. They appreciate you. Man, our landlord, the very first landlord we had in St. Carlos City, she told us, she said, we love foreign renters. She said, that's who we mostly rent to because we know first of the month or when the rent's due, they're going to pay it. She said that my Filipino clients, they always got a story. Yeah, this is what's really going on over here. Just to be able to walk the streets, man, and nobody F with you. You don't have to wear, it's something that it's annoying. I can't describe it. You got to experience it yourself because you wouldn't know what I was talking about. I've never had anything that even resembles problem over here, unless it was some woman I was dealing with. I mean, nothing, man, nothing in all those years. Nobody's ever bothered me at all over here. That's crazy. You would think even the law of averages, something would have happened by now. I got pickpocketed, my house broken into, nothing. In almost 17 years. So when you hear people putting the Philippines down, that's for content, man. A lot of them. And then, hey, that's their perspective. I respect it, but it's not my experience, man. That's one of the reasons I made my channel. Them guys wasn't talking to me. They were not talking about my Philippine experience. They talking about theirs because I'm like, man, what y'all talking about don't even bother me. He said, yeah, I want a place like that to rent, Cal, when I come to your area. It's here, Raymond. Oh, yeah. He said, yeah, also the fringe benefits are the peace that comes with not caring about local or politics like that. See, I'm glad you brought that up. We don't argue about, there's no, if there's mega here, we don't argue. They don't argue that stuff over here. See, this is what I'm talking about, Brian. This is what I'm talking about right here. Hey, Morris, what's up? Appreciate it, man. He's from Bermuda. Wow. Yeah, you got the triangle depth over there. There's no triangle depth over here. Because I was Juice was like, man, ain't you worried about those winners of that money coming back or somebody robbing you? Man, I done helped so many people over here. I'm sure I've helped the bad guys or somebody in their family. And remember, man, I'm protected over here. Them people done put the word out, man. Don't fuck with him. You know. I'm telling you, it's true. That's why I don't leave St. Carl City. I could live anywhere, man. I live here because I'm protected here. The word's already gone out. Don't fool with him. There's consequences. So I don't fool with that stuff. He said, yeah, that's my thing, getting a pedicure and foot spa. Yeah, you can afford it over here. You know, when you hear people say, I live like a king, and everyone say, no, you don't. Yeah, you do, because the things you can afford over here, man, you can't afford at home. I couldn't. First of all, I couldn't even grow any nails when I was at home. I was a chronic nail biter. I don't even bite my nails anymore. I noticed that almost the first time that I came here. I was like, wow, I'm not biting my nails over here. Okay? The stress is lower over here for you. If you got it together, the stress is going to be lower. And you got a stress reliever that sleeps next to you every night. He said, I lived in America all my life. I never felt free like I do in the Philippines. See, this is what I'm saying. It's real freedom, man. He said, Cal, I still say if you had landed in Thailand before coming to the Philippines, this channel would be Sunshine Thailand. But I went to Thailand, and I like Thailand, don't get me wrong. But I just been here so long, it's like I know this place. It's like the people know me here. I can't explain it. You know, I can go to Thailand now. And Cambodia and all those other fancy places. But there's no need to, man. He said, I never had a foot scrub. Oh, yeah, they good. I'm due for another one. I'm going to get one here because if you go to some place like, one of these tourist places, it's going to cost you double. Yeah, I know you do, Raymond. I told you that before you came. He said, I live like a king out here, Cal. I'm a believer because it's so cheap out here. I told you that. But guys won't know it till they get here. You know, the woman, man, I hate to keep saying this like she's a non-entity, which she's not. She's an important part. But that's the least of your worries, man. You'll be like, that's the icing on the cake. What's up, Brandon? And see, Airbnb has gotten so much better here in the Philippines, and it's available so many other places. Man, I took my wife and son to Boracay one time. Y'all not gonna believe this. We're right in Station 1, right behind Station 1. And in Station 1, that's where the most expensive, hotels and everything are on Boracay. Man, we was paying $10 a night for the Airbnb. You wouldn't believe it. And I'm talking about, I promise you, man, we were 5 minutes walk or less to the White Beach. That's what they call it, White Beach. So you can go to a place, $10 a night? Come on, man. He said, my girlfriend will land here as a permanent resident on February 13th. We will give you a call. Hey, thanks, man. I know you happy. I know you tired of your damn imagination. You can't wait to get your arms around her. He said, yeah, you can't put a price on peace and happiness. You know how we hung out for a few hours in Manila, Raymond. And you know how that was. Nobody bothered us, man. It was like 4 couples. And man, we had a good time, man. Wasn't all that old foolishness. He said, when you help the bad guys, that's on another level. Yeah. See, but I'm pretty sure I have. I've helped a mother or somebody. He says, what can you get good inside information on Davao City? Since I'm James, member for years, helped my brother move to General Trias to retire. Best decision he ever made, thanks to your advice. Well, Davao is one of the safest places here. But TJ's on here. I think Geechee Lion is on here. I would talk to somebody who lives there. Because, of course, if you go online, you're only going to get the glowing reports on Davao. And a lot of it's true. I like Davao. A lot of people don't like it there. But I did. But I would talk to somebody. First of all, I would just come here. See, the good thing about the Philippines, everything's in English. All the signage, the newspapers, for the most part, they've got newspapers that are in Tagalog and Bisaya, but you can get a newspaper here. So everything is in English. Easy to get around, because of that. And for the most part, people are going to speak English. And you're going to see somebody there. That's one thing about Davao. There's a lot of expats there. See, Davao was Dumaguete before Dumaguete was. When I first started coming over here in 2009, Davao was where all the expats were. Nobody was in Dumaguete. They didn't even know Dumaguete existed. Davao was the place because it was safe. Man, Duterte had his foot on the neck of the criminals. You could literally eat off the ground. And even to this day, Davao is the only place where you get in the taxi, you don't have to worry about them. That damn meter's gonna be on. You ain't gotta tell them. He said, yeah, let Curly in. Somebody, that's not Curly, that's Yappy. And Yappy done got so big and he can't fit through the bars anymore. But whenever Marilyn's cleaning that towel out there, she locks him out. Yeah. You better say this again. And this is why I tell guys, they come over here like they tough guys, right? You can't tell the bad guys from the good guys. You don't know where it's coming from. You can't understand the language. They flip that switch and they start talking Tagalog or Bisaya or Ilonggo. You're done. So that's enough right there to keep you humble. Yeah, Geechee Land lives in Davao. He's back now. Yeah, Duterte ain't no joke. Or whatever you want to say about him, he don't play. Okay? Hey, thank you, man. This is, okay, Brandon, thanks for bringing this up. It's because my channel was on some type of punishment, Brandon, but people was thinking I was crazy. This is normal right here. He says, Cal, YouTube has been pushing a lot of your old videos to me. Great content. I listen while I'm in the car. This is normal behavior. YouTube has stopped that completely, Brandon. If they would have just been doing things normally, I'd be closing in on 100,000 already, man. They stopped me for some reason. I was under some type of dark cloud or something for almost a whole year. The only thing they was doing was paying me, and that's because of you guys, my core group of supporters. You were watching me, giving me the 3,000 to 4,000 views, wait. Hey, wait. Let Yappy in. They're fighting him. inviting him. No, Yappy in. Invite him. Let Yappy in. Leave the rest of them out there. I don't know what they crazy. They didn't get to fighting Yappy. Yappy ain't nothing but a baby. But yeah, they just stopped my for the whole year. I might as well until December. Yeah, I like the Val too. But yeah, the Turdy. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, they called the Val the city of law and order. They still call it that to this day. I remember the very first time I went to the Val, I was getting a massage on the square at 10 o'clock at night. You ain't got to worry about nobody robbing you there. Oh, yeah, thanks, man. That's the first one that's hit that. I used to do that all the time. But YouTube had me under punishment. You see if I was going to get in trouble. Yeah, see? That's what it's supposed to do, Kamal. When the algorithm is in play, it starts pushing you out there to other people. It would do that at least twice a year. It used to for me. Where you'll look up and you'll see just a video you didn't even expect to have 100,000 views. And then you'll see other videos. Because, YouTube, we got a YouTube studio. And YouTube keeps all the analytics. And it'll show you like your top 5 performing videos. Well, hell, right now, one of them is from when I was interviewing my buddy Monroe Anderson about his fake marriage. You know how long ago that was? That was 3 years ago. But now all of a sudden, the algorithm has pushed it out there and people are watching it. And it's one of my top 5 performing videos now. I think it's got like 31,000 views or something. He married a woman who was already married. She knew she was married. But instead of him doing the, what do you call it? The cinema, he claimed that she had some type of connection where he didn't have to do that. Well, you could have paid 300 pesos to get that, and you'd have found out she was married. Hey, Blizzard LeBron, thanks for that super chat. I appreciate your support, man. I didn't get tired even saying this, man. We need to support Blizzard LeBron. He's got a good channel, man. He's got good topics. Plus, I see now you going to the DR. Well, you going to put the Philippines down, man? He said 100,000 soon, Brother Cal. You deserve it. Yeah, man. I'm putting it out there in the universe. I should have had it, but I ain't going to say that. I don't live hypothetically, but yeah. We need to give Blizzard Rob more support, man. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll catch him. I'll see him. Okay, Blizzard gonna be on at 11:30. Are you on right now, Blizzard? He said my nickname was Iceman, but you right that if you go look in the vial, 18, 19-year-olds will come at you. I'm 62. Only the good getting punished by YouTube. Yeah, that's the least you have to worry about. Trust me. I got scared the other day. I got to say this kind of low because he's listening. But anyway, I'm going to save more because, I told y'all about 3 boxes of groceries for my neighbors. Well, I'm walking down the street to catch the tricycle, and it's 2 young ladies. They're in their 20s. And one was like, hey, Sunshine Shoulders. Nice looking. So I said, hey, how you doing? So I get in I'm getting in the tricycle. She's still looking. She's looking back, waving, smiling. I'm like, You don't have to worry about that over here, guys, okay? But I don't need that kind of trouble, okay? I'm just telling you, I don't need that kind of trouble. This place is too small anyway. But I'm going to be honest with you. Um, Probably 7.5 to 8. The body made it an 8. Just a little cute little girl, man. I'm like, I don't need that trouble. Hey, JSYD says always keeps it real. Great insight for anyone thinking on traveling to the Philippines or Southeast Asia. Man, I appreciate that super chat. Thank you. I just really be trying to give you, my perspective, man. I'm just one perspective, but it just gets to me when I see a lot of these people on here and they putting the Philippines down like it's not relevant, which it is, man. With Westerners, they talk about these tourism numbers, man. It's because the Chinese, the Japanese, and the South Koreans have pumped the brakes on coming here. They don't feel that their citizens are safe enough. So until they can come up with a solution, they told them stop coming. Man, they love the Philippines. Certainly the South Koreans, they were the number one tourists in the Philippines. And those countries, they got a certain type of agreement because they come over here and build their whole communities over here. See, we don't have that type of agreement. But the fact that you have millions, over 1 million Americans coming to the Philippines every year should tell you something. As spoiled and funny as we are, if it was as bad as people said it was, you ain't gonna get no 1 million, and the numbers keep going up, man. That's phenomenal. Do you know how far it is from America to get here? I don't care what you doing over here, but let me get back to Kaz. Yeah, it's Kaz. He's up in Manila. See, because people always talk about, the food here in the Philippines. Man, that's foolishness. Man, you go to these expat alley cities, and they got enough food choices, man. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about street food. But he's at Dave and Buster's in Pasig City in the mall. So what are you talking about? You guys, man, don't fall for that. You're not gonna have a food problem over here. He said, Cal, you telling us that we should just start? What do you mean? What do you mean? Are you telling us that we should just start about our trip when we're around? What do you mean? I don't understand. You talking about on a YouTube channel or something? What are you saying? I don't understand. Yeah. Okay, y'all watch my video that other time, right? Remember I was doing that walk around video and it was 2 girls that I swung the camera around and said hello to, and then the one was all happy, and then when I start turning around and walk, she said, hey, where you going? And all that. And man, I had to hightail it out of there. Yeah, right. I mean, yeah. You couldn't pay me $1 million. Because like I told you before, they got a rich culture over here, man. It's thick, man. It's really like, okay, you may get a woman younger and she's going to have a different face, but you're going to get the same woman, basically. I'm satisfied, man. I ain't trying to. And then I got Booby that I've got to, take care of. It's just not worth it, man. It's not worth it. You're going to get caught. What they call it? The coconut grapevine or whatever it is, you're going to get caught. There just ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Because, okay, Thomas said you don't know the good guys from the bad guys. Well, you don't know her relatives from just anybody in the street. So you walking around with somebody, you think, okay, you might be in Dumaguete, you might be in Bohol, but somebody kin to her gonna see you. You don't know who's watching you. You don't know who you just walked past. who's at the resort with you at the beach, you're going to get caught here. It's just, I don't know how that works. Okay, you know in America it's like 6 degrees of separation, they call it. Over here, man, it's 2 degrees of separation. I remember one time when me and Marilyn, okay, this is before Booby was born. I had went to Ormond City, right? Well, anyway, somebody told her, yeah, I saw Carol. He was in the jeepney with another woman. I'm way in Ormond City. Okay, you got Negros Island, Cebu, then Lady. I'm 2 whole islands over. And the minute I get back, Merlin, yeah, they told me they saw you in a jeepney with a woman. I'm like, you can't get away with nothing here, man. They're going to catch you. What's up, Confident Boy Speaks? Thanks for that super chat. He said, I just ate the best biscuit and sweet potato just now. The beef was so tender, my helper was on point in the kitchen. I tell guys all the time, you just got the wrong cook. Who's cooking your food? Merle and them cook a beef steak, and they cut it up in strips, man. And it's so delicious. It's so tender. That's all you need. But there's only so much you can do with what? Chicken, fish, beef, pork, seafood. But these guys are always talking about the food in the Philippines. Well, that's a lot of cultural stuff I don't eat, and you're not going to eat. But all that other stuff, you crazy. Yeah, see, this is facts right here. I remember Texas Zoe said this. He said, I love my wife. He said, and I don't want another woman. He said, but one of the best things about living in Davao, he was in Davao, he said, I get to see the eye candy every day. And it's the same no matter where you live here. Even in a little place like this, you're going to see them, man. Yeah, it is. It is. He says it's a great place for people watch. Go to Panglao Bahal, go to Boracay, go to any of those places like that. Go to Siquijor. You want to see some nice looking European women? I don't know. I've never asked, but I promised myself the next time I go, I'm going to ask. I'm going to get up the nerve to ask, what is the connection between these Europeans and Siquijor? I mean, you see some fine ass white women in Siquijor, okay? I don't know what the connection is. And they ain't wearing nothing, okay? They wearing the real G-string. Drives the natives crazy. Okay? Oh, you mean it? Yeah. He said, that's what I just said. Yeah, that steak is good, man. They make it. But Marilyn's mother makes the best chicken adobo I've ever tasted. I mean, it's delicious. She puts pineapples in that sauce, and, man, I could eat pancakes. I could pour that sauce over pancakes. I mean, it's just so delicious. We don't eat out a lot, but I don't buy that the Philippines don't have no food. Okay, that's bullshit. Okay, you talking about, on your YouTube. Yeah, that's what I would do. That's the only way people are going to relate to you. If you start trying to make up these topics and stuff that everybody's talking about, they're not going to relate to you. But if you start talking about your real life experiences, what you've been through, not what somebody else went through. Because most of my first videos was simply about my experiences. But see, now it's so many people watching me, they always misinterpret what I say. And they misunderstand what I'm saying. And so, you got to find a way to kind of talk around stuff like that. Like when I was talking about you can do whatever you want to me. That's a real story. And a lot of people experience that over here. But if I was to talk about that now, oh, you're trying to disrespect the women. No, I'm not. I'm just telling you my story. The woman told me that. You know, because I'm like, yeah, can I do this? She's like, well, you can do whatever you want to me. And I was like, what? I haven't heard it before. I haven't heard it since. Now, do they act like that? Yeah. But to actually say it, and she's sitting there perfect, something straight out of your dreams. It's like you're dreaming. But yeah, you're gonna get called over here. Yeah, I'm going today. We went yesterday. Now that I got this, man, this stuff works, man. I drank it. It goes right into your system when you drink it. And you get like 20 of these packs in here for 300 something pesos. I got it through Shopee. This is fresh because I order it all the time. I can tell whether it's been hanging around too long or not. If it's fresh, the minute you drink it and it gets in your system, you're going to get that boost. That's who man. She was a solid 8. But remember, when I met her, she said she was 22 on the dating site. I found out she was 18, but man, what are you talking about? That was the first time when my nose was wide open over here. That was early. It was like only my second trip to the Philippines, though. I'm telling you, she looked, she was so good looking, man, that I was afraid to come out of the airport terminal. I mean, this woman literally had 2 ponytails hanging down and some skinny jeans on, man. She was fine as hell. And that was the beginning of the best 6 months of my life up until that point. Because no matter what my wife was trying to do to get back at me, before the divorce was final, it didn't faze me after that. But before that, and giving the man the keys to my car and all that stuff, it was driving me crazy. But after that, it really saved my life from coming over here. No, she won't. Merlin don't have no enemies. That's one thing that I like about Merlin. And that's one thing you should look for in a woman over here. If she got enemies, man, beefing with people online, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it is, you got to throw her back, man. It's just not typical. Merlin doesn't have that in her. Merlin wouldn't do anything. And what Merlin would probably do is probably would just say it's over and mean it. Or there's no making back up. There's no coming back. But nah, she's not like that. That's one thing I like about her. He said, yeah. He said, I told my girlfriend how to make Mexican dishes like, how you pronounce that? Ceviche and street tacos. Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you something. Some of the best Mexican food in the Philippines is in Cebu and La Lucha, the real tacos. If you want tacos here, that's where you got to go. And then the Bantayan burrito shop, burrito place, which is their Mexican food is better than La Lucha, believe it or not. But there's also a place in Boracay, in D Mall, which is where a lot of the Western restaurants and stuff is. They've got good Mexican food, but it's just so expensive. The food in Boracay is just ridiculous. It's just too expensive. I mean, you're talking about 950 pesos for a cheeseburger. It's crazy. So whenever we go to Baraka, we always eat at Jollibee or Andoc's chicken place because they still got the regular prices that they have anywhere else. The rest of those places, man, you're gonna pay 475 pesos for breakfast for 2 eggs and bacon and rice. But yeah, guys, I got to get off here, man. Sunday, man, we got to do our shopping and stuff. I appreciate the support, man. Always super chat, super stickers, all your thumbs up and all that. Let's hit the thumbs up. See if we can push this out there since the algorithm's helping me. But yeah, you got to learn how to separate the Philippines from the women. It's more to the Philippines than that. I've been telling y'all this for a long time, but y'all don't believe me. You're going to there's going to be some woman over here that's going to connect with you. That's nothing that you have to worry about. 18 to 80 blind, crippled, or crazy, but you're not blind, crippled, or crazy. But even if you was, you're going to have somebody. Okay? But you're not blind, crippled, and crazy. So you're going to have a decent woman, man. Somebody that, if you like younger women, because like I said, I'm going to interview the guy. He's 68. His girlfriend's 23. They have a baby together. They just had a baby. I think the baby's 6 weeks old. 3 weeks or 6 weeks old. When was the last time you had a 23-year-old woman? When you were 23, but it's nothing to sweat over. It's nothing to worry about. It's nothing to go overboard and make yourself vulnerable to getting scammed. You should be pushing back at the women online like, hey, it's early. You got to get this stuff established early before you know them. Be like, okay, so why should I be dating you? Why should I send you money when there's, 20 other women out here who want me? What's so special about you? Let her sell herself on you instead of you selling yourself on her. You the only one that's going to come over to see her. Stop. We got to flip the script back, guys. Otherwise, you're going to still get these horror stories. Guys coming over here folding they royal flush. You got a damn royal flush, dude, when you get over here. I mean, you literally have the royal flush. And then you're going to throw it in for a pair of deuces? I don't think so, man. Okay? But take care, y'all. Merlin's in there making something. I don't know what they're making. Smells good. But I forgot, I bought Booby that waffle machine, man. It makes good waffles. That's what I had for breakfast.